Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2028, the album. Dad, shimmy, shimmy. Amen. Amen. I meant to say AF. But listen, sometimes in church you gotta say fuck. Anyway, it's Church Who Zoom In Who Beast. This intro today. Available Christmas 2023. The Christmas Remix album. Dad, shimmy, shimmy, AF. Available Christmas 2028. Santa, can you hear me? I have been so good this year, damn it. And all I want for Christmas is who zoom in who. Oh my God, why does my laugh today sound like that dog detective cartoon? Do you remember from way back in the day? Okay, no, true story though. Listen, two things I have to tell you, okay? Is that, listen, usually I would restart the camera, but I don't even care because I'm having so much fun right now. And this is kind of a serious talk that I want to have today. So I need to start it off kind of having some fun and things like that, right? So I got my Diet Coke right here. Let's just open the Diet Coke. My favorite part of having a Diet Coke, actually, is the sound when you open the can of Diet Coke. Don't you love that so much? I love it. Kind of reminds me of being a kid and having pops. We call them pops in the Midwest over here. You know, you go over to somebody's house and they'd be like, you want a pop? Pop usually meant Faygo in Indiana. Do they still have that Faygo? Moon Mist and all that kind of stuff. Back in the day, they made all that. Moon Mist was basically Mountain Dew, but it was Faygo. So anyway, if you don't know what Faygo is, that means cheaper. But that was what we all drank when we were kids. Well, actually, my mom would call Tang. Do y'all remember Tang? And they always said it was bad, okay? It was nasty and always had the foam on top, but the way that they got kids to drink it was, they said it was what the astronauts drank at NASA to go to the, you know, outer space. Do you remember all that with Tang? They said the astronauts drank and then all the kids wanted to have it. But my mom would always be like, do you want juice? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And juice meant Tang, okay? And my mom had like fresh squeezed orange juice in the refrigerator, but that was for screwdrivers and things like that and mimosas. That was not for Peter. That juice was Tang back in the day. And I feel like juice was kind of Tang at everybody's house when I went to. And I also remember that my mom had, like, we would go over to people's houses, you know, like in the summer and whatever, and everybody's parent would bring out something. And my mom would she'd say, do you want juice? Like in the summer. And it would be, do you remember those plastic tubs and they had the metal on top of them or aluminum? And I found out later, because I mentioned it in a vlog not too long ago, and somebody, like, I don't know, not too long ago, it's like 6 months to me. I've been vlogging. We're coming up at the end of 7 years over there, okay, of vlogging consistently. So anyway, that's Peter's Vlogs. People say it's like a podcast if you want to listen to it. But anyway, I found out they're called jugs. They're like little barrels. Do you know what I'm talking about? And you could get like 50 of them for like $1.50 or something like that, okay? Also like the long, do you remember the freezer things? The freeze strips or whatever they were called, you know, that you put them in the freezer and you get like 100 for $2 or something like that. My mom would be like, y'all want ice cream? And then that was ice cream, one of those long sticks that you push up and it would melt before you got to the top, then you'd suck all the juice out of it. It was kind of fun being a kid, wasn't it? In the 70s and the 80s. If you grew up like me, that was fun. I remember sitting on electrical boxes. You know, I had my little terry cloth matching outfit on, my little yellow shorts with the white trim, the tank top to match. I had a little pocket right here and a little pocket on my shorts, you know, where I put my lip gloss. The kind of lip gloss that slid from side to side, and one side was root beer and the other side was vanilla. You remember that, you know? And then the Bonnie Bell lip gloss that, you know, was like cotton candy or Dr. Pepper or something like that. It had the metal roller ball on the top of it, and I keep one in my pocket, one down here, you know? And then we would sit, my good friends, Katie and Jesse, we would sit on the electrical box while the boys were playing sports in the cul-de-sac, and we just swing our legs, you know, like that. And then Poltergeist came out when I was around, like, I think it came out when I was like 8 or 9 or something like that. And we would take our gum, Bubblicious bubble gum, you know, we loved that back in the day. We like chew like 2 pieces of it, so we had this huge bubble, right? and we blow our bubble gum, me and Katie and Jesse, and then we take it and we go like that and suck it in, and we go, come to the light, Carol Ann, come to the light, Carol, because that pink bubble gum kind of looked like where, you know, Carol Ann and Jo Beth Williams came out of it, you know what I mean? But anyway, that Heather O'Rourke, and then she ended up passing away. It was so tragic. Like half that cast on Poltergeist, and then the crew and everything, half of them either died or were murdered and all kinds of stuff. So sadly, isn't it, of the world? But anyway, that was little Peter growing up back in the day. How did I even get into all that? I don't even remember. Who zoom in who? So I don't know why I started telling that story, but I was talking about Tang, and I was talking about juice. I was talking about opening pop cans. Oh, because, see, my friend back in the day, she said if you can't remember something, wiggle your toes. It sets off neurons in your brain. And true story, I was wiggling my toes over here, and it worked. It did. Truly, it did. It worked. So anyway, but we would go over to our friend's house, and they'd be like, their parents would always say, do you want a pop? And a pop means soda, or a sody, to Amy Slayton. She lives in the Midwest, too. Hey, Amy Slayton, how you doing, girl? Hey, Tammy. Hey, Amanda, Misty, Chris. How y'all doing down there? How you doing in Kentucky? So anyway, y'all watching the 1,000 Pound Sisters. I think, does it come on tomorrow night? I think that it's season 5 is out and episode 2 comes on tomorrow night. Now, I may or may not have been talking to Amy Slayton a little bit on the side. A lot. A lot. So anyway, but I love that show so much. But down there in Kentucky, they call them sodies and things like that. We don't so much in Indiana call them sodies. We call them sodas or pops. We call them pops. Like my good Judy Tawny Jean and I will we go to the gas station to get us a fountain pop. Okay, people get so confused about that. They're like, "What's a fountain pop?" A fountain pop is when you get that big styrofoam cup. Okay, like a big gulp, and then. Or a freezer pop or whatever they're called. And then you get the crushed ice in it. You know, you don't have to, but we always do. I don't love the crushed ice anymore. I try to, sometimes I go back and forth. But then it's like you push the fountain, like you're at McDonald's or whatever. So it's kind of like you're serving yourself at McDonald's. It's kind of real fun. It's kind of like takes you back to the kid when you're a kid, when you're playing school and the teacher sends them all the papers with you because you don't want them papers no more. And you're like, teacher, can I please have those papers? Then you make everybody sit, in the basement of your house, in the hottest day in August. And they all got to act like they're playing school with these papers, and you like they all want to go outside. They're like, teacher, when's the time to play recess? And you're like, listen, I'm the mean surly teacher. And you're like 8 years old, and you're like, listen, I'm the mean surly teacher, and you got to finish some math worksheets first. And before you do, then Mrs. Monn's going to have a cigarette in the teacher's lounge while you guys are having nap time, and then we're going to have lunch, and then we're going to have, I'm going to read y'all a story, and then we're going to have recess, but not till then. And if you misbehave, you're all of you going into the corner. Remember, we would play school like that. You always wanted to be the teacher because you could be so mean. You didn't care about being a teacher or be the nice teacher. You want to be teacher, be the mean teacher, right? Well, I always wanted to go to Smoker's Lounge. Even at age 8, I was like, I'm going to Smoker's Lounge. I get so bored, I want to go outside or something like that, but I had one of my friends, in the neighborhood. I didn't have a lot of friends, but in the neighborhood I did. They wouldn't have to keep on doing them worksheets, right? And then I want to sit there at the desk, with my glasses and stuff like that. I didn't wear glasses, but for that purpose, I did. Listen. We're talking about method acting, okay? When I was playing school, okay, when I was 8 years old, it was method acting, okay? I had all of it. I had the glasses and everything, and I just sit back there. Well, I don't think we're going to have recess today because you students aren't getting none of these math, because who's wanting to do math problems, okay? What is this video even talking about? I was going to be talking about the moral superiority of influencers today, and here I am talking about all this kind of stuff. But, first of all, I did think that I'd maybe do a little... get ready with me. I got all my stuff here. I didn't wash my face and everything. Now, I don't know if I use this. This is my favorite, okay? Wrinkle cream for underneath my eyes. It's the Alpen Beauty. This one I just got. I'd gone through a whole container, and I just got this the other day. I showed it on my Peter Does Stuff channel. And then people are always like, in my comments of this video, they're like, Peter, can we get a skincare routine? And I'm like, yeah, that's already up over my Peter Does Stuff channel. Peter, can we get this video? I'm like, yeah, I reviewed that on my review channel. Y'all got 7 channels. Peter like, can you talk about Vanderpump Rules? Just did 2 days ago. Can you talk about 1,000 Pound Sisters? Just did 3 days ago over my new channel, Peter's Reality TV. Listen, y'all, you got to keep up, okay? I got 7 channels. They're all linked below. So this is this thing, it's called Oars or Oaks or something like that. Oars, Alps or something. It's this under eye thing. So I'm going to use a little bit of this underneath my eyes because my eyes are, as you get older, listen, okay? I don't even drink. Yesterday was my 29-year sobriety birthday, and I just want to say, first of all, no jokes, literally, no jokes. Thank you guys so much for the support that you gave me. I am so appreciative. I mean, it was, I don't know why. I just had such a magical day. I mean, I know why, but I don't know why I got so emotional reading all the responses and all the people saying like, I have 3 hours sober or I have 30 years sober. And it just was like, it felt like such a family over here. And I am so grateful for it. I mean, I got like so many comments like right out of the gate from people just being like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And, you know, that was a really raw and vulnerable video for me to do yesterday. And I just was like, I want to just talk about some things. And it's not just about my recovery. It was about this and it was about that. And I was like, you know, I'm like ready to talk about this stuff. And it was, you guys, it meant the world to me. The reception was just unbelievable. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful. You guys always make it so easy for me to be very vulnerable on camera. I don't, you know, like, you guys always give me props. You're like, thank you so much for being so vulnerable, or thank you so much for sharing so much about your life, and you've helped me in this way, or you've helped me in that way. I get so many comments and DMs like that. But in all honesty, it's you guys that make me feel the ability to be vulnerable on camera. In all honesty, I mean, the reception that I get and things like that, it's unbelievable. And, you know, by you guys sharing your stories, it's just the coolest thing. It's like, you know, it just feels kind of like a community, you know, that I'm part of. And I'm not in charge of it. It's just, I'm part of it, you know, and it's just unbelievable. And I read through those comments and people saying like, I'm not in addiction, I'm not an addict, but like, thank you so much for sharing your story. You've helped me understand more. You've helped me, you know, just with this area or whatever. Or, you know, I have family members that are addicts, or I'm in recovery, or I'm struggling. Like, all the comments, you know, just were like, it was like, I called it my most important video because for me, it felt more than a video. And I don't know if it came across that way, but I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be vulnerable. I really like getting on video and talking about important topics. I, of course, love getting on video and flipping the fan and joking and all that kind of stuff. But I love talking about things that are important to me as well. So I just want to say, again, thank you. It means the world to me, the reception that I got on that video. The reception I get on any video is really nice, but especially that video, it meant a lot to me, you know? I think, as many of you know, my sobriety is so sacred to me. It is the main priority in my life. Without it, I have nothing. And for other people to respond to it so positively, or to even thank me for sharing my story, it's like, I don't know, it means the world to me, you know? So I just want to say, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, let's finish this, let's finish this and get ready with me, shall we? I'm gonna take off my head so you can see a little Peter Bot head hair today. Okay, I know! What would those beauty influencers do? Because they can't show all this. I think that's part of it for me too, is like, you know, this is what we're gonna talk about a little bit today, but like, part of it for me is, when these beauty influencers are like so afraid, not just beauty influencers, but just, you know, anybody, you know, YouTubers, it's like they're so afraid to share just a part of themselves, you know? And it's like, if I say on video, by the way, I love the spray so much, but like, you know, if I say on video, like, I think these people need to come out and they need to explain to their audience this, or they need to make a response, or they need to explain these things, or whatever, right? Like, I'm asking too much, you know? But, like, one of the things for me is that if you can admit the hardships that you're going through, or talk about them, if you're a person that considers yourself an influencer, okay? I consider myself just a dude with a camera that got lucky enough that people want to watch my videos. I'm like really, that spray is usually like pretty dry, so it should dry up here in a second, but I'm like, I am really like, it looks glossy as hell, doesn't it, on camera? But anyway, if you have the ability, and it's not like, I'm not singing my praises, okay? Because I'm not the only person that does it. There's a lot of YouTubers that do that. But if you can get on video and just kind of share what's going on with your life, right? Or take some responsibility, not for everything in your life, but for things that are important here and there, right? And, I mean, none of us can take responsibility for everything that everybody's going to throw at us, right? But the main things, if you can try to clean that up, the wreckage of your past, and do things like that, right? You're also demonstrating to your audience growth and change. Not just for you, not just for your career, but for other people. I stay sober for me. I stay sober solely for me, okay? I don't ever have to get in a video and talk about sobriety. I don't ever have to talk about, I mean, I don't ever have to share my story, anything about my story. I don't have to, okay? Like people say about all these people, they don't owe it to you. I don't owe it to anybody to get on here and share my story. I don't have to talk about my marriage. I don't have to talk about my mother passing away. I don't have to talk about the accident. I don't have to talk about having pancreatitis. I don't have to talk about my dog's passing. I don't have to talk about anything, okay? I don't have to talk about my recovery, anything. I choose to talk about those things to maybe help other people out there, you know? That maybe somebody will see something in my story, you know, even at times when I have to admit things that I've done wrong, that maybe being a good example. And that's where I feel like when you have, if you want to call this a platform of people listening to you, okay, that it's somewhat negligent to not ever come out and address those things. It's not just about, and I'm just having a very real conversation with y'all like I would have with with one of my best friends. It's not just about saving a career or putting out a pallet or, you know, this or that. Sometimes it's about this audience that you have of people that you are so blessed that are willing to watch your videos, because let's just be for real. We all start with 1 subscriber, okay? The rest is luck. Okay? Yes, many of these people have bought subscribers, they have bought views, and it's smoke and mirrors. Many of these people have PR agents that get them interviews and get them articles written about them and all that kind of stuff, okay? And hey, do what you have to do if that's that important to you. It's never been that important to me, all right? I have just been blessed enough, and in all honesty, this means more to me than ever having, like, gotten 10 million subscribers or... And in all honesty, okay, for people out there that want to be like, this is full of bullshit. No, this is the 100% truth, okay? It means more to me than having 10 million subscribers or getting 10 million views, okay? Or doing this or doing that or having interviews here or having this or whatever, right? Like that's, you know, PR agents are getting you and this is smoke and mirrors and half of your subscribers, and I'm not just talking about 1 or 2 people, I'm talking about several people, okay? Or half your subscribers are fake because we can tell by the numbers, okay, when you look at that stuff. Or your views are fake because all of a sudden at 2:32 a.m. on a Monday, they go shooting through the roof, right? Like, I feel very blessed with what I have, and that there are people that actually want to watch my videos. I started off with 1 subscriber, and it was probably me from one of my other channels, in all honesty, okay? You know, I mean, probably my BookTube channel. We all start off with 1 subscriber, you know, and then you grow from there. And it really, to be honest with you, the majority of it is just luck, you know? It really is. And I feel very lucky and very blessed that there are people that like to hear what I have to say, you know? So because of that, I feel, you know, that there is a responsibility that goes along with that, which is why it's why, like, I used to not like to talk about dark subjects, you know, and I would say, I just want to keep it light and heavy, or not light, I don't want to talk about heavy subjects over here. But then in the last year, I started thinking about it, and I thought, but these topics are important for me to talk about. You know, these things are important for me to talk about. Boo Radley is asleep back here. Okay, by the way, this is a little side note. So, I talked in my other videos about these Costco blankets, okay? So, one was $7.50, and then they were marked down to $4.50, okay? So, Boo Radley is obsessed with these Costco blankets. So, you see how big they are? Okay, piled in a circle, and piled in a pile in the middle of the bed. Then Lucy, from my vlog, she's so sweet, I love Lucy. Lucy sends Boo Radley a purple blanket and a purple pup bed, okay? Now, he is obsessed with this bed. Hi, Boo. He is in this bed all the time, okay? Now, during the day, it is fine, we have been told, to keep the bed at the end of the bed, okay? But at night, the bed has to be between my husband and I, okay? He drags it up here, okay? And then gets in it. And then he wants one of the Costco blankets over him. So now, our California king-size bed has basically turned into one large-size dog bed. But these are the things that you do for your dogs that you love, right? Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So, you know, I kind of have changed my perspective, and I feel like there are things that are important to talk about over here, right? You know, it's interesting, though, because when I look at, like, the videos of where I've talked about things in the past, you know, and if I talk about, like, Jeffree Star in a pallet or Jeffree Star doing this, like, I don't get a lot of backlash from that, you know? If I talk about Michaela Nogueira, I don't get a lot of backlash with her, like, talking about Lashgate, you know, and all that, or Mascaragate, or whatever that was called. I don't get, like, a lot of backlash for that, you know? Like, when I talk about, like, Shane Dawson and his humor, I don't really get a lot of backlash from that. I get people that will say, I love Shane, and I don't agree with your opinion, but I don't get backlash for that. It's like kind of a conversation, you know? What's interesting that I've noticed is that when I talk about Trisha Paytas, Colleen Ballinger, and James Charles, I get a lot of backlash from people, okay? I get a lot of people that are like, you're wrong, you're this, you're that, blah, 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 whatever, right? And one of the most interesting things to me, I'm like, where am I at on time? Am I almost at 30 minutes already? I cannot possibly be almost at 30 minutes. Oh no, almost at 20 minutes. Because I was like, I'm not making a long ass video today. So one of the things that is the most interesting to me, right, is that this one phrase that I get whenever I talk about Colleen Ballinger, specifically, like, not so much with Trisha Paytas, I have to say. Like, I don't know that I get this word very much with Trisha Paytas, but Trisha Paytas is included in the group where I get the most backlash. But definitely, Colleen Ballinger and James Charles is where I get the super fans that come out like nobody's business, okay? The Trisha Paytas stuff has kind of like died a little bit because I don't talk about Trisha Paytas that much over here anymore, see? So it's not going to stop me from talking about her. If she gets herself in some huge scandal, trust me, I'll talk about her again. But I don't talk about her that much anymore. So that's a true sign of the fact that it was coming from the Trisha Paytas camp, okay? Of the super fans that were literally gunning for me left and right, okay? Because they could not handle me talking about Trisha Paytas. Now that I don't talk about Trisha Paytas on a regular basis, it's crickets, okay? So that's total proof that Trisha Paytas' super fans will do anything and wreck anybody over their defense of Trisha Paytas, who, quite frankly, has proven over time that she's kind of a shit person, okay? And has taken very little accountability for it, all right? And I know everybody's like, she's a changing and growing person. I believe that she's a changing and growing person, too. I think there's lots of steps to the, you know, for me, for everybody, okay? Like, I don't hold myself to any different, you know, level than I would hold these other people, you know? You know, I talked in this video yesterday about all the work that I've done. I skimmed over stuff. That video that I did yesterday talking about my recovery, that video could have been 16 hours long, you know? The summer before last, I did 2 days of inventory, which we call a fifth, like the fourth step is our inventory, and the fifth step is when you go over it with your sponsor or somebody else. And I did 2 days of 9 hours each with my sponsor, sitting down in a room, 9 hours each day, okay? Sitting down with my sponsor, going through my resentments, my fears, my conduct, okay? And what my part in was that, you know? And I don't have a problem getting on camera and sharing that. So there's a lot of work that goes into becoming a better changed person, and I'm not even there yet, all right? So I think it's fair to get on camera and say, okay, I'll grant the fact that Trisha Paytas has stayed out of drama. I mean, do we deserve congratulations for that? But do I think that she is a changed person? No, I don't. I haven't witnessed that full change yet. I haven't witnessed, you know, she's talking about this, she's talking about that, whatever, but I haven't witnessed a lot of growth and change from Trisha Paytas. And especially if you watch the podcast closely, which I don't, but a lot of people do, and they tag me and stuff, and they send me DMs about it, right? Which I've asked time and time again. Don't be tagging me in no Trisha Paytas bullshit, okay? It's one thing to send me some information that you want me to cover in a DM. Hey, listen, that's fine, okay? But when you're tagging me in a bunch of witch hunts, I don't want any part of that stuff, okay? For anybody. I don't care who it is that you're coming for. I don't want any part of it, okay? So I've already been thinking about maybe going into the next year, sometime next year, just deleting my Twitter completely, because I don't really use it that much anyway. And the only time I ever am on Twitter is to, like, if somebody even said this the other day, they go, I know you don't get on Twitter, but to, like, retweet the Halloween countdown. It's true. It's like Halloween countdown, the Christmas countdown. Every once in a while I get a little lippy over there, and then it gets me into trouble. And so I'm like, and by lippy, I mean something like saying, something like when they were talking about Larsa Pippen versus Gertie on The Real Housewives of Miami, and they're like, whose side are you on? And I reshared it and I put, is this even a question? I mean, it's stuff like that. That's about as lippy as I get these days. So I'm like, what's the point of even I mean, like, I might just, like, stop following everybody. Just be done with the Twitter, okay? Because it's so toxic, right? But I do get some good housewives gossip over there and tea. So for that reason, I probably will keep it. But anyway, my battery stopped. I had to go downstairs and get a new battery and everything. And you know what? And this dog stayed in his bed the entire time. He ain't being moved. But anyway, like, the deepest I ever get on the Twitter, you know, is like resharing something about Larsa Pippen and Gertie and all this kind of stuff. Larsa Pippen is going to be on this new season of The Traitors. I am so tired of Larsa Pippen. Like, do we care about her 10 years ago in Miami? Why is she back? Like... And then she and her boyfriend have this podcast. They're sitting there filming it. And she's like, yeah, this is like Love Connection with Larsa. And I'm like looked at my husband and I go, who is listening to this podcast? And he just started laughing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Every housewife in the world has to have a podcast these days. Are any of them good? Are any of them good? Like, can somebody let me know if any of the Housewives podcasts are good? You know, I watch a lot of the videos like that Up and Adam and stuff like that, but I don't listen to the podcasts about the Housewives. So if there's a good Housewife podcast out there, put it in the comment section below. But see, for that reason alone, I probably won't be getting rid of the Twitter because I keep up with all my Housewife information. But anyway, what was I saying? Talking about the Twitter. Don't be tagging me a bunch of witch hunts for Trisha Paytas, okay? I'm just saying it right now. And then be surprised that I blocked you when I said in a video that I was going to block you. Then you act so surprised. Like, I only tagged him one time. Okay? Listen, I'm a quick learner, okay? And maybe you're a slow learner. I don't know. But I said to you, if you tag me in this shit, I'm going to block you. You tagged me in it, I blocked you. What's the surprise? Okay? Listen, this isn't Santa putting Christmas presents under the Christmas tree. There's not going to be a lot of surprises on Peter Munn's channel, okay? Surprise! Okay? I said, if you tag me in this shit, and you know what they're going to do? Just today, just to try to test me and piss me off, they're going to tag me in a bunch of shit. And I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to screenshot their block, and they're going to repost the block, and they're going to be like, oh my God, he blocked me. Yep, that's what I said. Surprise! There was your Christmas gift. You want your block? Here it is, baby. Okay, so let's move on to... I just did that, and like I just like this like chill went through me, and I was like, does this mean something? Like, is this problematic? Like, I don't know. Like, is this problematic? Are you allowed to do that? Because I know there's things you're not supposed to do with your hands, because then they're problematic, and people get in trouble for that all the time. I was just showing like this is a receipt. See, like my hand, and then this 2 receipts. Okay, I don't know if that's problematic. Like, I don't know what's problematic anymore. I know Colleen Ballinger is problematic. Okay. But I don't, like, am I problematic? I don't know. So anyway, oh my God, I'm so scared of this video. So let's talk about, what I want to talk about today was this comment that I get when I talk about James Charles and I talk about Colleen Ballinger, okay? It's specifically on those 2 people. Is that I get these 2 words a lot, okay? Moral superiority, okay? That people suggest that because I am talking about Colleen Ballinger having predatorial and grooming allegations, okay? And James Charles being a self-proclaimed predator, which he is, okay? That I am displaying moral superiority. That I think I am more morally superior to the world than these people. That I have higher morals. That I have better morals. That I am morally superior, okay, based on how I choose to live my life, to Colleen Ballinger and James Charles. You're right, you got me. I do actually. I do think that I'm morally superior to James Charles and Colleen Ballinger, 100%. You can put that on me all day long, okay? But for me, it opens, and I'm not joking when I say that. I do believe that I am morally superior to Colleen Ballinger and James Charles. I believe that probably 90% of the world is. Okay? Not just me. So this was a conversation that I wanted to have, because the last video that I did about Colleen Ballinger, I got like a lot of really nasty comments, okay? And I don't know, like I'm starting to kind of figure out like that my haters, like I found one of my biggest haters, like honestly one of my biggest. So I was kind of surprised when I was sent the information. I was like, oh wow, and like to connect the dots, and even to the links that they went to of where they posted stuff, I'm like, this person's like really, really sick, right? And now I can see all their accounts, and what I'm finding out is that it's not necessarily so much how it looks, like 10 to 20 different people. It's more like 2 to 5 different people with 5 to 10 different accounts talking to each other, or talking to themselves a lot of times. Like they'll post something and then they'll retweet it from another one of their accounts and reshare, because I can see all their accounts, right? So I don't know. I think in next year, like maybe, you know, I've already planned a couple trips for next year. I'm thinking like, I've never been to Virginia before. I'm thinking I might want to go to Virginia next year. I might have some reasons to go to Virginia next year. So, but anyway, just saying, okay? And don't say I'm doxing nobody, because that's a state, okay? That's a state. I'm just saying I might want to go to Virginia. I might even want to go to Virginia Beach next year, I'm thinking, you know? That's just a city. So don't be saying I'm doxing nobody, okay? I'm doxing somebody that has literally rode so hard for me and made my life a living hell. That is a fucking joke, okay? You want to talk about some moral superiority, that you even have the audacity to put that out there in the world, okay? When people are in videos doxing literally people that are coming for them on Twitter and showing their full names and things like that, and don't nobody say anything but sing their praises. But I threatened to dox a hater in a video, and I am called out left and right, okay, for the fact that, oh my God, he's going to call somebody's name out. No, what you're afraid of is that you're going to get called out, because you know that I know who you are now, okay? Yeah. You guys, it's a connect the dots paper trail thing. These investigators aren't stupid. It's real easy to figure out, okay? You guys put comments on stupid things. You just do, okay? When there's like not one comment on a specific thing, except for one comment that is so easily traceable because it is your actual Facebook account, that then is actually easy to trace to your other accounts on multiple platforms, you are stupid, okay? And then I can track that too, having thrown up my accident in my face, throwing up court documents in my face, calling my vet and things like that. Oh no, baby, I don't gotta dox you on camera because I'm coming straight for you. Let's just make that clear, okay? Like I said, I'm no longer in my standing up for myself era. I'm just fucking standing up for myself, okay? So these people want to come for me, and their threat or their comment is always, well, you think you're morally superior to James Charles and Colleen Ballinger. Oh, 100% I do. Oh, absolutely. I hope you do too. I hope you do. I hope the majority of you out there feel that you are morally superior to James Charles and Colleen Ballinger based on their allegations, okay? Now, let's hold on a second here before people are like, oh, Peter thinks he's better than everybody else. No, ma'am. Let's not get this twisted, okay? You can go fact check the many times, okay, that I have referenced the year that the movie Schindler's List won for Best Oscar, and the same year, okay, that there was a documentary that was done, okay, about a concentration camp survivor. And they gave the award to the woman who was a survivor, and they gave her the Oscar. The director gave her the Oscar. And in her speech, she said, for the last 50 years, I have woken up every single day and asked myself, why me? I am no different, okay? Well, I think that proves, and I've used that as an example, okay, about how I am no different than anybody else. I talked in my video yesterday about how I used to be this spoiled brat that thought I deserved everything, and I was really quickly human equalized when I went to treatment to realize, okay, that just because how I was born or what family I had or where I lived or whatever, I was no different than anybody else, except for the fact that I came into this world with a lot of fucking privilege, okay? And it's important to acknowledge that. I have a lot of privilege in this world that other people don't. So let's not get it twisted, okay? And say that I'm coming for Colleen Ballinger or James Charles because I think that I'm morally superior to them as human beings. I feel that I'm morally superior to James Charles and Colleen Ballinger because Colleen Ballinger has factual evidence out there of really problematic predatory grooming behavior, okay? Period, end of story. There's evidence. I don't even know how people can get on her videos and be like, Colleen, I missed you so much. Oh, Colleen, I love you so much. Oh, Colleen, this is the best Christmas present. Do y'all have family members? Do you have siblings? Do you have children? If you did, and they had adults asking them about their first periods, their sexual positions, telling them about their marital issues, okay, when they were 14, 15, 16 years old, would you be singing their praises the way that you're singing Colleen Ballinger? You guys are just as sick. You're the reason she's had this platform today that she has. I hope that when you sign off on that, on those comment sections, and you say, oh, Colleen, I love you so much. I love you so much, Colleen. I hope that when you say that, you are thinking about your friend's 12-year-old daughter, okay? Or your 14-year-old neighbor that mows your lawn. Or I hope that you're thinking about your students in your classroom if you're a teacher, because I'm sure some of you are, okay? Or your grandkids. Or your children. Or your sisters and brothers. What if it happened to them? Or your cousins, okay? Like, are you thinking about that when you are co-signing the fact that this woman literally, there is factual evidence that has been put out there that she has never come out and addressed because she can't, okay? Trust me, if Colleen Ballinger could get in a video and she could say, there is no factual evidence to this whatsoever, I'm going to prove to you that this is doctored and that there is no truth to this and this is fake. You think she wouldn't come out and talk about that? She's talked about a lot less, okay? like green face versus black face in her stand-up show, okay? Or her tour or whatever. She came out and addressed that. Her attorneys addressed that. She's never addressed that because she can't, okay? Because there's factual evidence that proves what a sick person she is, okay? At least what a sick person she was, but she hasn't demonstrated any change. James Charles, there was factual evidence as well. James Charles got in a video called Holding Myself Accountable. Took accountability in the video. Apologized to his victims. 2 victims, okay? There were more. There were younger victims. He also tried to coerce straight men into thinking that they were bisexual to have sexual interactions with them, okay? Which, that alone is problematic, not to mention all the other things. Took the Holding Myself Accountability video down, or Holding Myself Accountable video down, okay? And then came out with an open conversation video, basically reiterating what he said. I don't think he realizes that because he was more careful with his words. Blamed the whole thing, okay, on a drama channel that came out and was keeping a tally of all the allegations, many of which were fake. Fell back on those fake allegations. Comes out 3 years later, just this year in a Cosmopolitan article, okay, and basically says he's doing the same thing because he said back then that he realized he was desperate and social media sites are not dating sites. Now he comes out in 2023 and said he feels like he's a bouncer at a club because he's responding to people in his DMs. And people don't have an issue with that. And I'm morally superior because I have an issue with James Charles and his self-proclamation of being a predator, and Colleen Ballinger with factual evidence of her behavior with minors. Yeah, I fucking do think that I'm morally superior to that. Sorry. If you take issue with that, this probably isn't the channel for you. Because I hope to God that you think that you're morally superior to that as well. I really, really honestly do, you know? And so I took some notes the other day when I was thinking about talking about this. It's kind of hard to stay serious when you look at your iPad and it says, who's Zoom, or your iPhone, it says, who's Zoom in who? I just downloaded that by Aretha Franklin. And you look in here in your notes, right? Okay, so let's look at, I'm like narrating this. Where is this at? Okay, my reading slump. This video is important to me. Where is this at? Why can't I find this? Something about morally, what did I call this? Video. Okay. People comment, I'm just going to read this straight through. I ain't going to do no fancy ass video about this. People comment in defense of people saying that I feel that I am so morally superior to people. And I wrote this. Is there a time on this when I wrote this? I'm going to see when I wrote this. Hold on a second. There's no time on it. Would have been so good because this is probably like 4 o'clock in the morning, Peter, okay? Watching Bachelor in Paradise or something. Well, it's over now. Now all them couples broke up. People comment in defense of people, James Charles, Colleen Ballinger, saying, I feel that I am so morally superior to people. Okay. Okay. Let's look at it from a different perspective, because I love looking at things from different perspectives, right? Is it that I'm morally superior, or that I feel that I'm morally superior, and that I feel that I'm grandiose, sitting up here on my throne, passing judgment on all these people that are problematic? I never, let's just make this very clear. I don't know how closely, this is where, like, a lot of people are like the parents that, like an A- is never good enough, you know? And like a C, you're grounded for 6 months, but they never acknowledge the hard work that you do. Like, these are the people that never acknowledge me sitting in a video like I did yesterday, like I did the day before, like I've done multiple times in the last week, let alone the last month. 100 times more than any of these people that I talk about ever have. I don't think they ever even have, okay? And I've said in multiple videos of mine, I am not a perfect example of myself. I will F up in the future. I will hopefully continue to learn from my mistakes. I'm continuing to grow and change as a person. I'm trying to clean up the wreckage of my past. I'm trying to make amends for things that I've done. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to be problematic and things like that. And so I'm continuing to grow, and I will continue to be problematic. I don't think that displays someone being morally superior. I think that displays somebody being a human fucking being and trying to grow and change, okay? But you don't acknowledge that. You only acknowledge when I'm pointing out the factual evidence of how these people are really seriously problematic. And not problematic like maybe we shouldn't buy their products, but problematic like how do they even have a platform anymore, you know? Okay, so because they've abused their platform. Their platform where people like Judy Smith is underneath there singing their praises like, oh my God, I can't believe you're back. This is the best Christmas present either. And Judy Smith is 40 years old and has 2 teenage kids that Colleen Ballinger could have been doing the same thing to. And Judy Smith don't give a fuck, okay? Out of her love for an influencer that she will never meet unless she pays for a ticket to Colleen Ballinger's tour that I hope that she never starts up again, okay? Like, this is sick to me. The whole system of it. You know, let's talk about systems theory and things like that for a second. The whole system, okay, of the influencer world is sick. When you have the influencer at the middle of it, surrounded by their friends, their predator protectors, okay, that defend them from anything, okay, and allow them to continue their narrative and protect them from everything else. Then you have around that the circle of super fans. Then you have the other fans, okay? So, to get to these people, to hold them accountable, is extremely difficult, right? They have got a 4-layer system of people standing behind them. So when people say to me, why do you talk about super fans? Because it's pertinent. Why do you talk about their friends? Because it's extremely pertinent, okay? And I've explained this in other videos. So let's look at this moral superiority from a different point of view, okay? Could it possibly be that those people that are accusing me of being so morally superior, that their moral baseline is so low? And I don't mean this as shade. I mean this as honestly like, let's have a conversation about this. Is your baseline of morality so low that you're willing to accept the behaviors of perpetual liars, scammers, predators, groomers, and bigots? That's okay for you. Your moral baseline, okay, is totally cool. Your integrity, your morals, your values are totally based, okay, in being able to accept predators, groomers, perpetual liars, scammers, and bigots. And you're totally fine with that. Well, I'm not, okay? And yes, I have fucked up many times in my life, okay? But I have demonstrated over time that I am not that person today. These people cannot say the same thing. Colleen Ballinger was in group chats months ago with minors, okay? James Charles just came out in a video, or in the article this year, saying he was doing the same thing. Jaclyn Hill continues, as of yesterday, okay? As of yesterday, she just came out with that cat person doing that TikTok and made this joke, okay? About, how, oh, you like the Stanley Cup? I'll link it. She made a joke, okay, of people coming out and accusing her of not appropriately linking things and that she's constantly linking things, even though she cried a river in her video and said that she doesn't want to be known as a spokesperson. And yet, just yesterday, on her Instagram, she's holding a Stanley Cup and she's linking it below. And it says right here, we are in California right now and I still have my Stanley with me, link, white frost, okay? Then she goes on to link the sweater that everybody in her DMs is asking her about. Everybody in her DMs is asking her about the sweater. But how many people ask you about Kaylin Nicholson or ask you to say her name in a video? How many people will ask you about Jaclyn Cosmetics and whether or not you're the CEO of that? How many people have asked you about the history of you and Becca Cosmetics? How many people have asked you about other women in the beauty industry that you've screwed over in your DMs? You don't respond to those DMs, but you're flooded with DMs about a cardigan or a sweater, and so you have to link it because you don't even have your own brand or your YouTube channel linked underneath your Instagram. You have your Amazon storefront because you're such a fraud that you came out and you said you didn't want to be a salesperson anymore, yet you're constantly selling things. No, girl, you're a liar, and people continue to follow it because their moral baseline is so low that they're okay to accept liars. Hey, that's on you. That's not on me. You got to decide on who you want to be. And that's not me saying I'm morally superior, but to some of these people, amen, I am. Okay? And thankful for that. That my morals and my integrity are a little bit higher than some of these people. And don't say, oh, Peter thinks he's so morally superior. I hope that you think you are too. To this, to lies and scams. And grooming and all this crap. Like, I mean, it's really rather sick and disgusting. If this was your street, okay? If your street, you know, if you had a predator living in one house, a groomer living in another house, okay? Somebody that was just nonstop selling you shit, okay, at your door front, Avon and you know, MLMs and nonstop bullshit in the third house, okay? And you had all this kind of stuff. People, you know, if you had one house after another, would you move from the fucking street? Like, seriously? But I call this stuff out and I think I'm morally superior. Well, I hope that the people that watch my videos are morally superior enough to think that they're higher than all this problematic bullshit. I really do, or my hope for the world is lost, in all honesty. But I really think that my audience has really kind of got it together. I think they know that their values and their morals are higher than these people. Because I don't think very high of these people. But I think pretty high of the people that watch my videos. So your moral baseline is so low that you're willing to defend these people at any expense and say that I'm morally superior, okay? In all honesty, my moral grounding doesn't really need to be that high to be superior to all of those people. In all honesty, I would hope the majority of the people aren't okay with those things that I've listed. The allegations of COLLEEN Ballinger, the allegations of James Charles, the self-proclamation of being a predator by James Charles. I hope most people aren't okay with those things. You know? I mean, it doesn't really take a moral supreme or a moral genius to think that maybe you have a few more values than these people out there. None of these people care about morals or values anyway. Let's just get it very, very clear. These people only care about money, views, clicks, and subscribers. Okay? That's all they care about. They do not care about you, okay? They use their audience and they use their fans, all right? Oh, Peter, you do the same thing. Yeah, that's why I have a Peterisms video that gets 500 to 700 views a day, and I post consistently over there sharing stories of my life, okay? That's why I vlog for like an hour every single day sitting on my front porch. These people would not have channels like that. They would have gotten rid of them years ago. Okay, I have vlogged for almost 7 years. I'm coming up to the end of 7 years on a channel that I am very, very grateful that I have the following that I have. But in all honesty, it hasn't really grown a lot in 2 to 3 years. And I don't care. But if you think that James Charles or COLLEEN Ballinger or Jaclyn Hill or any of these people would keep a channel alive where they are vlogging every single day for an hour and they're getting 2,000 to 4,000 views, are you kidding me? And no, I don't think I'm superior to that. I'm just proving that I love YouTube. It's not about the money, the views, and the clicks to me. I love the interactions that I have with people. It pisses me off that you got diehard fans, okay, that are going so hard for these people that will attack other people. And what you don't see is that these influencers don't care about you. You're just a number to them. You know, you don't have to follow me, but follow somebody out there that gives a shit about you. You know, follow somebody that has a subscriber account where they know who you are. You are nothing but a number, a ticket at a show, a book sale to these people. I mean, that's all you are. You know? I mean, nobody cares. I mean, COLLEEN Ballinger's doing this whole live charity thing the other night, of which she's been called out for left and right. I mean, the audacity of this alone. And her fans don't take issue with this. I'm like, it's unbelievable to me, you know? So in all honesty, like I was saying, my moral grounding doesn't really need to be that high, okay, to be superior to that. In all honesty, I would hope the majority of the people out there aren't okay with these things. Or like I said, my hope in society is kind of over then, you know? In what society do we live where we're okay with those things and will even go to the lengths of accusing someone of thinking of themselves as morally superior just because they aren't okay with predators, groomers, liars, scammers, and bigots? I mean, what does that say? You know? And those people still have a lot of followers. So, call me morally superior if you want to, you know? If that is your biggest critical comment of me, is that I think that I'm morally superior of James Charles, well, Merry fucking Christmas, I do. I do. And you know what? And I hope that you do too. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.